it's Lisa. I'm here today to give you my November wrap-up. During the month of November, I was able to read 8 books, and I'm excited about that. I usually rate all my books, so I'm going to start with the lowest rating and then work my way up to the highest rating. Lowest rating for me, the first book I gave 3 stars, and the title is Before We Were Strangers, a Love-Hate Love Story by Renee Carlino. So I read this because it was a book from the girls at Bedtime Book Club, and they picked this as the book club book of the month. So I picked it up, and not really knowing much what it was about, I decided to read it. As a preference, I'm not really into romance, and I have a hard time and actually just get really bored reading romance novels. It's just not my thing. If you like romance novels, this might be a book for you, but I gave this 3 stars. Not because it wasn't a good book, but just because of, for my preference, it's not something that I would normally read. So the book is about 2 people, Matt and Grace, and they meet at college and fall in love immediately and spend every single moment together. The book outlines their time together and how much they really do love each other, and then at the end of senior year they get separated. Matt gets an internship with National Geographic and gets to go to Africa. So he takes that opportunity, and there's a misunderstanding in the story between them. The misunderstanding turned into a place where they weren't talking anymore and went their own separate ways. They couldn't find each other, and I'm not going to spoil the end of the book just in case you'd like to read it, but there's another twist at the end. They do find each other again. I think I would recommend the book if you liked romance or tales of lost love, that kind of thing. The story does have a happy ending at least, so I'll give it that. So I rated this book 3 stars. Okay, for the next 2 books, I actually have not rated them yet. I'm not sure how I want to rate them or how I feel about them. So I'm just going to show you the books and a little bit about them. The first book is a graphic novel that I picked up, and it's Saga, Brian Vaughan and Fiona Staples. So I read this in like a night, and it's a graphic novel in color, beautiful pictures, which I loved. The storyline is definitely for an adult, not for, I don't even believe it would be for a teenager. So it's an adult graphic novel, and not that any of that bothered me. There were lots of creatures. There were lots of creatures in the book that were very strange. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I did read it, and I didn't hate it. So I'm going to go ahead and think about this a little more because I did just finish it last night. So the next book that I read this month, and I read it probably in just a couple of days as well, even though it has 599 pages, is Illuminated by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. And this is a huge chunker of a book, but the book has a lot of mixed media and emails and notes. None of it is written in paragraph form. There are some pictures. I probably don't have to go into it too much because you guys already know this book. It's very popular. So I'm not sure, again, how I feel about this, or if I will continue to read the second novel in this. Is it a novel? It's probably not a novel. The second book in the series, Gemina, I'm not sure if I'm going to read it yet. Probably not. I didn't really enjoy the format. I really had to struggle at least for the first 300 or more pages to even get into the story. Once I got into the story, it was really good and captivating and different and original, and actually the formatting and all of that I really do think is brilliant. I'm just saying I don't know if it's my cup of tea. I don't know if I would like to continue with this, or in the future if books are going to be made in this kind of format. I'm not sure that I would like that because it's just not what I'm used to. It wasn't intriguing at all for me until the very end, when I got to it was really, at the end was just absolutely crazy, and the story just went bonkers, and that was awesome. So I did love that, but I had to read a whole lot to get there. So I'm not sure how I feel about Illuminate. I know maybe eventually I'll do just a whole book review on this and let you know how I feel about it. But for right now, I'm just still struggling with my thoughts and ideas and whatnot. So another book I read this month is The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. I actually just finished this last night as well, and I did like the story. Usually when I'm reading a story and I'm not into it, I'll skim or skip or that kind of thing, because I usually want to know what's at the end or how the story turns out. For this book, I read everything and I was intrigued by the story. So we're starting off at the beginning of the book with a family tree. And they're giving you this family tree in the beginning because they actually do start from the bottom and work their way up all the way till Ava. So you're getting the story of great-grandparents, grandparents, parents, and then I think it was really necessary to do this and to see this because it was really helpful in understanding the rest of the story. I did really like the character building and the telling of the back history of her family. It explained a whole lot as to why Ava was the way she was, and the way she thought. And the family, I think, it was very dark and gloomy, and the people of her family were just not happy people. They came over from another country to America, and they went, Manhattan, and they hated it. And I'm not going to give much more away to the story, but I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed the character building. I enjoyed reading about Ava and Ava's story at the end. I think it does say on the back of the book, so I'm not going to ruin it. She is born with wings, and the doctor can't take the wings off because then it will kill her. She is attached. All of her organs are attached to the wings. So 4 stars for this book. I did enjoy it. My next book I read this month, I think I've talked a lot about in past videos, is The Autumn Balloon by Kenny Popora. The Autumn Balloon is a memoir. If the memoir is written like a fiction story, then I can read it with no problem, and this definitely does. It brings Kenny's life just to this real place. So it was a hard book to read, but I really did enjoy it. The writing was spectacular. Kenny did a great job. There were times that I was laughing out loud because his story and his family are so ridiculous. I gave it 5 stars. Last 2 books, here they are. Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I read, of course, Six of Crows first and loved it. I loved the story. I loved the characters. There's quite a bit of character building, and that to me was fine. I enjoyed every single bit of it. I love the 6 characters that are a part of the story, and they just, again, so much difficulty in their life, but making a joke out of it all and being very sarcastic and all of that kind of thing. It made for a very interesting piece. They had very great relationships together. They were awesome, like hanging out, and just, the banter back and forth between them was so funny. I loved it. Six of Crows, it took me a little bit to get into it, but once I did, I absolutely loved it, and I did end up giving it 5 stars. I think I'm going to go ahead and recommend this to a lot of friends for Christmas or whatever books. It's a beautiful book. So Six of Crows was awesome. And then I moved to Crooked Kingdom, and I'm always so nervous to read a sequel because you just don't know. And you're comparing it with the first. Is it going to be better? You just don't know. So Crooked Kingdom, I didn't get into it as much as I would have liked. I know they're all the same characters, and so I knew them, and there's a different goal for them to achieve in this book, but I just didn't like it as much. I felt it was forced. I know a lot of people love it, but again, I don't know. I did read the whole thing and I enjoyed it, but not enough to give it 5 stars. So 4 stars for Crooked Kingdom. So this would be my reading. Let's get that in there. This is my reading for November. I had a great month and I'm so excited for the month of December because I have a lot of great picks for them. Quite a few of them are library books. So I'm going to try to stop buying because I know I'm probably going to get some books for Christmas too. So hope you enjoyed my reviews. I'm so excited that it's the last couple of days of November because December is just so fun. I love Christmas. I love being with family. So I'm going to be able to do a lot of those kinds of things, visiting family and whatnot. And the kids just get so happy around Christmas time. And so it's a joy and I can't wait for that. So thank you all for watching and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.